I never thought silence could feel so loud. The clinking of cutlery, the low hum of conversation, the faint music from the restaurant speakers. All of it blurred into a dull roar the moment her words cut through the air. You know, sometimes I wonder if I settled too soon. She said it with a laugh, a toss of her hair, and her wine glass halfway to her lips. The people around our table chuckled. Half amused, half uncomfortable. I didn't. I just stared at her, my fork frozen in midair, the roast chicken cooling on my plate. Settled too soon. We had been married for 9 years. We built a life together. Shared rent, debts, laughter and scars. I thought we were building a future. And now, in front of our friends, she was saying she might have chosen wrong. I didn't ask what she meant. I didn't give her the satisfaction of a scene. I just placed my napkin on the table, pushed back my chair, and walked out into the cold evening air. The walk away. The night air bit into my skin, but the heat in my chest kept me warm. I walked aimlessly at first, past glowing shopfronts and couples holding hands, until I found myself by the river. The water rippled under the streetlights, silent and indifferent. I wanted to believe it was just a careless joke, wine-fueled and meaningless. But deep down I knew it wasn't. The remark carried weight, the kind that slips out when someone's truth is bubbling just beneath the surface. And truth had been flickering in little moments for months now. The late nights at work that turned into team drinks. The sudden bursts of texting she would hide with a quick screen flip. The way she dressed a little differently when she said she was just meeting colleagues. I had ignored the signs. Told myself I was imagining it. That I was being paranoid. But tonight that mask cracked. The first crack. When I finally went home, the house was dark. Her car wasn't in the driveway. I sat on the couch, waiting, scrolling through my phone without seeing the screen. At 1:13 a.m. Headlights swept across the curtains. She came in smelling like perfume and whiskey, her heels clicking against the tiles. "Why'd you leave like that?" she asked, tossing her purse on the counter. "You embarrassed me." I let out a bitter laugh. "I embarrassed you." She blinked at me, feigning confusion. "It was a joke, Mark. Everyone was laughing." "No," I said quietly. "They were laughing because they didn't know what I know." That got her attention. Her brows knitted. "What are you talking about?" I met her eyes and, for a moment, I almost said it, almost accused her right there. But I didn't have proof. Only suspicions and that damned remark. So I said nothing. I stood, went upstairs, and shut the bedroom door behind me. Evidence. Over the next week, I became someone I never wanted to be. A quiet investigator in my own marriage. Checked phone bills, bank statements, social media tags from her coworkers' nights out. And then, one Thursday afternoon, I found it. An email. Not even a hidden one. Just poorly deleted, sitting in her trash folder. "Last night was amazing. Can still taste you. Can't wait for the conference next month. E." My stomach turned. The sender's name was Daniel Reeves, her department head. I remembered his smug grin from the office Christmas party last year. How he'd complimented her dress a little too warmly. I stared at the screen until my hands stopped shaking. Then I forwarded it to my private email and closed her laptop. The confrontation that never happened. I didn't confront her right away. I thought I would. God knows I rehearsed it in my head 100 times. The shouting, the accusations, the tearful confession. But when she came home that night, humming softly as she kicked off her heels, I just watched her. Watched her pour wine, check her phone, smile at a message. It wasn't just the betrayal that hurt. It was how easily she carried on, like nothing had changed, like I was just background furniture in her new, exciting life. So I waited. And I planned. Dinner Part 2. A week later, she suggested dinner again. Just the two of us this time. "I feel like we've been distant," she said sweetly, her fingers brushing my arm. "Let's fix that." We went to the same restaurant. Same table even. The irony made me want to laugh. She ordered wine. I ordered water. Halfway through the meal, she leaned forward and said, "Mark, are you happy?" With us. I looked at her, really looked at her. The woman I married was in there somewhere, but this one had secrets under her skin. Are you? Asked back. She smiled faintly. Of course. Why wouldn't I be? I wanted to slam my fist on the table, show her the email, scream, because you're sleeping with your boss, Claire. But I didn't. I just nodded, finished my water, and let her keep talking. The turning point. The next morning I went to a lawyer. We talked about options. About property division, joint accounts, what proof I needed. He told me to stay calm, gather evidence, don't tip her off. So I played the part of the clueless husband. I kissed her on the cheek when she left for late meetings. I mowed the lawn. I cooked dinner. Inside I was building an escape hatch. The final straw. It came 3 weeks later, at a mutual friend's dinner party. Same circle of friends, same polite laughter. And then she made that remark. I guess I just wonder sometimes if I settled too soon, she said again. This time with a sharper edge, a little more truth behind the wine-laced smile. Something inside me clicked off. I didn't argue. I didn't speak. I just stood, placed my napkin on the table and walked out. This time I didn't go home. The fallout. She called me 17 times that night. Texted me 5. By the next morning, her messages turned from confusion to anger to panic. Where are you? You're being childish. Mark, please let's talk. I didn't reply. Instead, I emailed her the forwarded message, the one from her boss. No words. Just the subject line, I know. 2 hours later, she was at my brother's house where I was staying, pounding on the door, mascara running down her face. Mark, please, she whispered when I finally opened it. It's not what you think. Then tell me what it is, I said coldly. She hesitated, then sighed. It was a mistake. It meant nothing. I shook my head. You humiliated me in front of our friends. You mocked our marriage at dinner tables. And you call it nothing. Tears welled in her eyes. I was lonely. You were always working, always tired. Stop, I cut in. You made a choice. And now I'm making mine. Choice. The divorce papers went through quietly. I didn't tell our friends why. I didn't ruin her reputation, though part of me wanted to. She lost the promotion she'd been chasing when HR got involved with the email I forwarded anonymously. She kept the apartment. I kept my dignity. It's strange how betrayal doesn't explode your life. It seeps into it like a slow poison until you're no longer the same person. The dinner that changed everything. Sometimes I still think about that dinner. About how a single careless remark opened the floodgates. If she hadn't said it, would I still be living a lie? Smiling across the table at a woman who was already gone? Maybe. But here's the thing about betrayal. It's not the act itself that destroys you. It's the moment you realize the person you trusted most was capable of it all along. And that moment, for me, came with a glass of wine, a room full of laughter, and a sentence I'll never forget.